the questions that I've raised, I'd say, not more than any, but certainly I've submitted hundreds of parliamentary questions on it since I entered this Dáil in 2011, is on the issue of forestry. Going right back to the misguided plan at the time to sell off the harvesting rights of Coillte. Now, since then, there has been, at a rhetorical level, a improvement in terms of the government's sort of official policy on forestry, and particularly its importance in relation to climate change. But in actual delivery terms, we're in a worse position than we've ever been. It's actually got worse over the last 6 years in terms of the level of new planting that has gone on. And the situation has got worse in terms of the type of forestry we do, because it's single species, Sitka spruce, commercially focused, rather than actually understanding the need for a sustainable forestry model that will contribute to a sustainable environmental future. The McKinnon report that was produced recently really confirmed some of the points that I and others have been making about this for a long time, that we're just not taking forestry seriously in this country. I just wonder, is anything going to improve on that front? I mean, we have a target of 8,000 hectares planting, right? But we've had targets similar to that or even higher than that over the last 10 years. We never meet them, and we're now down at an all-time low of about 3,000 hectares a year, which is dismal. So are we going to move from sort of rhetorical or lip service to forestry and climate change to actually real delivery in terms of afforestation?
Thanks very much, Deputies, for your questions and contributions. First of all, I want to assure the House that Government is deeply committed to fully supporting and developing Ireland's beef sector and protecting the incomes of beef farmers. As we all understand, Government doesn't have a role to play in determining the price that beef farmers get from factories, but I would like to see an increase in the price being paid to farmers so that our farmers are receiving a price that's in line with the EU average, and currently they're not. And certainly I support greater transparency on price. In this context, I welcome indications from Meat Industry Ireland that market conditions are improving, and this is now being reflected in some price increases for farmers, though not enough to date. As a government, we provide significant financial assistance to the beef sector to encourage greater efficiencies and productivity, and this is what we've done through a series of measures: 300 million in beef data and genomics programme, 20 million for BEEP, the Beef Environmental Efficiency Pilot in 2019, 78 million drawn down in exceptional aid through BEAM to beef farmers, and also the restoration of areas of natural constraint, the ANC scheme, to 250 million. 85 million in targeted schemes supporting sustainable beef farming are provided for in Budget 2020, and in the event of a no-deal Brexit, 85 million has been set aside for beef farmers, with the possibility of further funding depending on the impact. However, the Government will work hard now over the next couple of months to secure a trade deal with the UK that continues to give our farmers free access to the British market, which is so important to them. Particularly at this time of year, I know the basic payment scheme is fundamentally important to our farmers to maintain cash flow, and the commencement of the BPS balancing payments now brings the total paid under the 2019 scheme to date to 1.14 billion to over 120,000 farmers. The implementation of the agreement reached between beef stakeholders on the 15th of September is important in terms of providing immediate benefit to producers, as well as the introduction of a range of strategic measures which seek to tackle structural imbalances in the sector. The agreement provided for an immediate increase in the range of bonuses. It increased the level of bonuses being paid on certain animals, as well as significantly increasing the number of animals which are eligible for a bonus. The cumulative impact is that over 70% of all steer and heifers slaughtered are now eligible for a bonus on top of the basic price paid. Just in terms of the question of forestry, as I think deputies will know, roughly 11% of Ireland is now under forest. That's the highest level in 350 years, but it's still very low by European standards. And we set the objective to plant an additional 400 million trees between now and 2030. There are very good incentives in place for farmers and landowners to get into forestry, but uptake is disappointing, quite frankly. So I'd certainly like to see all major landowners, not just farmers, but all major landowners, plant an acre or a hectare of trees, and ideally native trees, and we're willing to provide financial assistance for them to do that. And I think the planting of more trees and native trees will have to form part of the new cap which will arise at European level in the next couple of months or the next year or so, and also the climate action measures being taken at European level through the European Green Deal. On the issue of hedgerows, which Deputy Burton mentioned, I'm going to have to come back to her with a more detailed reply on this. I do know a lot of hedgerows are protected, but all of them aren't. And hedgerows are, of course, habitats in their own right and allow animals to travel. They act as corridors between habitats, as the Deputy mentioned. There are payments to maintain and nurture hedgerows under GLAS, but again, perhaps we could enhance them. I think I kind of covered the rest in my replies. Thank you.
Thank you.